Hey everyone, good evening. This is Larry, and Karen is here this evening to talk about small, large. What is this small lettering, Karen?
We're going to talk about fonts in general, and a little bit on small lettering. Yeah.
Awesome. I know that is going to make some people extremely happy to have this um, lesson. So great. Hang on a second. Can everybody see Karen's screen and hear our voices? Hello? Maybe? Yes, there's a yes. Hi, Belinda. Okay, cool. Let's see. Ellen, your question about designs for evaluation, just would you contact me, please, after the webinar with details, and I'll see what I can do for you about that. Okay, with that, no further ado, we're already recording, and I'm going to turn it over to Karen, and she will start. If you have questions, type them in. She can see your questions, but she'll probably
I
stop
cannot.
once in a while. Oh, you
My
can't? Okay.
questions are the whole thing just disappeared on questions.
Okay, well,
So,
um,
well, no, I need the questions. So,
well
what
then
I'm going
here's,
to do,
yeah,
I'm just going to re-come in. Okay? Can I do
try it.
that?
I don't know, try it, see what happens.
All right. There we go. I got it.
So you see
Got
questions
it.
now? All
I got
right.
them. Oh, I didn't
Hey,
have to go all the way out, but I found them.
oh, cool. Look at that. There's a commentary. I'm ready for this. Yeah.
Oh, oh great. I'm not sure I am now.
All righty. Well, you go right ahead. We're already recording, so just pick up and go for it. And I'm going to mute
Okay.
myself. I'll be here, but of course muted. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. We're gonna talk about some fonts tonight, and we'll get to the small lettering in a little bit. I want to go through a few other things first, and so we're just going to talk about fonts tonight. You can do so much with fonts. Um, let me get rid of that. We'll just start with. We're just going to put my name in there because it's my name, and it's just an easy thing to deal with. Okay. You input your text here, whatever you want to write or whatever you want to do. Like I said, I'm doing Karen because that's my name. And then you come over here and you can pick your fonts. Now, these fonts are the fonts that are on your computer. Okay. These ones that have TT on them. When you come up here and you see the at sign, those are generations fonts. And we're going to get to those in a little bit too. We're going to talk about those. But right now, we're going to go to the Arial Black because that's just what's there. This is what it comes up on usually, or one of the Arials when you open up your fonts. Okay, so it's on Arial Black and it's size 25.4. That's 1 inch. Okay, so that means the size of this is going to be 1 inch. I can make it bold by clicking that, but I have to highlight it first. So let's do that again. Highlighted, bold, makes it a little bolder. I can make it italic. If it's not an italic font and I want it italic, I can do that. And I'm going to click OK. And there we go. It's as simple as that. I'm going to make it a 3D. And let's change that color because this color is sometimes a little hard to see. Let's go with that. Now, these fonts, they're okay. Most of the time, they're good for what you're doing, uh, but not all the time. They need a few things done to them sometimes. Um, if you come down here where it says design size, this shows you the size of this design. So you can see in height, it's 25.72, which is just a hair over an inch. So that means that this K is just a hair over an inch. I'm going to get my measuring tape and I'm going to come here and I'm going to come down. And as you can see, that's just a little bit over an inch. Okay, that's just kind of a standard thing. Now, as you can see here, this is done in satin, and it's breaking the stitch because this is very wide here. Let's measure that. Okay, see it's over 10. So for the purposes of this webinar, I am just going to highlight this and go into stitch properties and go into my satin tab, and I'm just going to uncheck break long stitch, just because we're not going to deal with that right now. Because if you're going to, you deal with that just the same way you do with any other, you need satin. It has to be smaller, which you can do because you can fix anything. Okay, but as you can see, there's some weird things going on like here with this R. And, you know, some things you can fix, some things you can't. Okay, I'm going to come up here and we're going to look at the, this is the stitch angles. Okay, and if you look at this, there's a split in this R right here. You cannot move it. Whoop. I do that all the time. Okay, so I'm going to generate. You can see right here. Whoop. I'm going to bring this up. Right here, the program split that R. So I'm not particularly happy with that. Okay, but there's not a lot you can do except pick a different font, make it smaller, or digitize it yourself. We're not talking about digitizing your own fonts here. That is just a whole nother thing, and that is a major, major endeavor with a lot of study involved to get them right. Okay, but there's a few things here we can do. Okay, we're going to come over to this K. I want this part of my K to stitch first. And then I want this part to stitch, and then I want that part to stitch because that's the way a K looks the best. So I'm going to bring this over here. So it's going to start here. Then it's going to do this. And I'm going to make an out there on this because this is the last piece. Generate. So now as you can see, it's going to stitch this first, that, and now this piece. So that's something you can do. Okay, like I said, I can't do much about the R except redigitize it. Okay, and then I think Holly talked about this last time. Then you just use this one as a template. And you can come in here and follow it. Okay, that's not perfect, but I think it's better looking than the R that's there. So I'm going to bring that up there, and we're going to get rid of that. And we'll make this R the orange, just because. Okay, so that's just kind of the general and basic parts. If you look at this N, we can do the same thing here by making that in there and moving the out there. And now that looks better. And then like with the E, we can start the E there and make it go out there. Okay, so that just makes them stitching a little nicer so they look a little nicer when we're done. Okay, then that's just kind of a basic little thing. All right, now when you come into the fonts and that's highlighted and it's on Arial, okay, I can click OK. And now I've got it again, the original. Okay, now I can go in here and edit, and I'm going to edit this one. Okay, this one, I can go in here and edit, but you know what's not going to be editable is this R anymore because we got rid of the R, and that's my digitized R. Anyway, I want to get rid of this one. See, there it is. We'll get rid of that. Maybe. There. And delete. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this one too. I'm just going to get rid of that. All right. Well, let's go back in here. Now, sometimes with these fonts, the take it off italic. The corners are not so nice. Now you can fix those. Okay, some of them, not all of them. All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, as you can see, I hate those capped corners. That's what those are called. Those are called capped corners, and I don't like them. Okay, so what I can do is I can right click on that N, and then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go to the angle, view angle, and those are my stitch angles. Okay, and it's the corners that I don't like. So now I've got stitch angles up, I right click in the gray, and here it says edit corner. Okay, so we're going to try to edit a corner, and then I left click and drag a box around the corner I want to edit. Sometimes it's very difficult to get them. See, I can't even get it. All right, let's try a different one. See, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So that's why you do the best you can with these. Let's see if I can get something on this one. All right, let's try it here and see if we can do any better. Whoops. And right click, edit corner. There we go. Okay, now I can edit this corner. Okay, and it was a capped corner. So let's try it as going around the whole corner. That didn't, let's see if we get that. Oh, sure, now it's not going to respond. Okay, we all know what that means. Okay, let's bring it up again.
What does that mean for those who don't know what that means? And for those of you watching right now, it looks like Karen's computer might have crashed completely. I'm not sure, but she's offline right now. So I imagine she'll be back in here in just a minute and we'll bring her back in. Hang on a second. We'll try and see if she got back already. GHIJ, not yet, not yet. Offline. Okay, so what I'm going to do is switch the webinar over to my screen until Karen gets back here. So hang on a second. I think we need to do that in order for her to get back in. Let's see, show my screen. All right, so you should be seeing the homepage for You Can Digitize at the moment. Let me know if you can see that. Rosemary says, oh good, I thought it was me. Yeah, no, it wasn't you, Rosemary. Are you seeing my screen? Hang on. Yeah, there we go. You should be seeing my screen now. Good, 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 good. Okay. So we'll wait a minute. Karen's offline, so I'm going to, I don't know if I can do anything with her at the moment until she gets back in here. Let's see. JK. Karen? Maybe I can be right with you. Copy email. Connect to audio. Huh, okay. I cannot. I've got to wait for her to get back. I'm guessing she's rebooting her computer. Um, okay, hang on here. Okay, Shirley, I'm just going to make a note of what you needed there. Hang on a second. Shirley. Uh, Horton and ATW expired. This is 6/18. Okay. Well, we're still waiting for Karen. Let's see if she shows up here. JK. Nope, not yet. Wow. Wow. Okay, Karen shows offline, so don't know if her internet went down or her computer died or what. Jay, yeah, she's still not back. Give it another minute. Yeah, good idea. Phone call might work. I think I'll try that. Hang on a second. Y'all, I'm gonna mute this so that I can call Karen. I'll be back in a minute. Let's see, mute. There it is. Okay. Y'all hear me again, I suppose. So I just called Karen and she said she forgot to mention they're having severe thunderstorms there tonight and her system just kind of went down. She said she's having to reset her modem. So once she resets her modem, she's going to try to get back in here to finish this up. So we'll see what happens here. We'll give it another minute or two. So let's just see if she shows up. I imagine she will if the internet gods are good to her tonight or good to us. We'll see what happens. Just waiting. JK. So give it a minute or two. Maybe I'll be right back. Let's see. Hi, Florence. How are you? All the way down in, is it New Zealand? I think you're in New Zealand, right? So anyway, welcome. Getting your lunch ready. So it must be early morning there. Um, Elaine, here's my number. I'm going to send you, Elaine, I'm going to send you my phone number for my cell phone. And if you would give me a call during the day, I'll be home tomorrow and Wednesday. I'll have my phone turned on. Oh, Elaine, would you send me your phone number also so that I can add you to my contact list and my phone will ring directly rather than having to go into voicemail first? I'd appreciate that. Do. Okay, there you are, Elaine. We'll add you in here. Elaine, I'm going to ring your phone just for a second. Oh, no, I'm not. Cancel. Not that way. Wrong. We need to go to phone. There we go. 3-629-784. I'm just going to ring your phone long enough. There it goes. All right, I've added you into my call list. When you call me, my phone will ring. Okay, otherwise it goes into voicemail and then I have to call you back, and I don't like doing that if I don't have to. All right, let's see if Karen made it back in yet. She's still dealing with her modem. FG, J, J, K, no Karen. No Karen. All right, we'll give it another minute or two. And Florence says, yes, it's New Zealand and it's noon there. Oh, so you're getting lunch ready for right now. So it's lunchtime there. Okay, duh, just got it. You know, I'm normally, I'm good with, like calculating what time it is in, different time zones in the United States. We got several of them here. But I never, I have a hard time getting Australia and New Zealand time zones figured out in my head. All right, let me take another look, see if we got Karen yet. No Karen. Oh my. All right, let me check my text messages. There she is. She's still trying. Still trying on rebooting. All right, hold on. I'd play background music, but that's probably some copyright violation. So hang on a minute, we'll be right back with you. Okay, hang on a second. I think we might have it. JK. Just have to wait for her to dial. It looks like she's got internet back, so she's logging back in. Yay. JK. But JK, I'm looking for Karen to show up in the list so I can, in the attendees list, so I can get her back in here. J. There she is. Okay, hold on. Make organizer. Okay, and you should be back here. We should probably just take a second or two for her microphone to kick in. And can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear us now, Karen? Hello? Hello, Karen, can you hear me?
Hello?
There you are. I'm going to make you the presenter. So here you go. You
Let's
should be
try this
able to
again.
show your screen. Yeah, I hope the storms don't keep doing that to you. Okay, you're back.
I'm back, and everybody can hear me.
Yes, they can hear you. I can see you.
Okay,
Well, I can see
awesome.
your screen. I don't see you, but
Oh, well, sorry about that. Okay. All right, so back we were trying to fix corners. So let me see if I can do this without crashing again. All right, so we're up here and we're in the stitch angle view, and we right click inside the gray, and then we get edit corner. Right click inside, edit corner, left click and drag around the corner. All right, now these options come up, and I do believe this was a capped corner. So let's try the nice going around the corner with the nice angle, and click OK, and then generate. Okay, and if you can see, let me bring that up to 400, how that made that go around like that. And that looks actually pretty good. Doesn't always look that nice when it, depending on the size of the letter. Those are things you have to take into consideration when you decide what to do. Okay, so we could fix this corner up here, and we could fix this corner there the exact same way. We'll go into the view angle, right click inside, edit corner, and we'll pick that one, and we'll generate. And that came out pretty nice too. Oops, I don't want that. I want the angle icon. Right click inside, edit corner, left click and drag, pick the corner you want. I'm going to take this one just to be different. Click generate. Okay, so now you can see that there's a few things you can do to help with the corners, but as you saw before, you cannot always change the corner. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and I don't know why it crashed me before, but it did. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to open a new document, and we're going to start again. Let's go. And I'm going to highlight it because I want to do things to it. Okay, now we're in this Arial right now, but what we can do is when you're looking for a font that you like, if you highlight it up here and you left click on it here so it's blue, and now start using your arrow keys. And you can watch it go through as it changes till you can find something that you like. There's a lot of, to pick what you want, what I want to work with, but this helps you see. And I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to generate. And I'm just going to make it that color and make it 3D. And let's bring it up about 200 so you can see. And as you can see, you still have all these weird little starts and stops and starting from the wrong place, like this R. Okay, it starts down here on the serif. So we would really want that to stitch first, and we would want that to stitch last. Serif, so it goes on top. Generate. Okay, so actually I could actually make that look better. Sometimes it doesn't always work. If you look over here, I don't think we can make the K look any better. But let's see. We'll put the in there, and I'll put the out there, and let's see what we get. Well, a little better, but not perfect. So sometimes you can use them, sometimes you can't. Sometimes when you stitch them out, and that's the true test, stitching it out. It doesn't really make that much of a difference sometimes when you stitch it out. You really can't tell some of those things. Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to get rid of this. No. And now we're going to do some of the fun stuff. Okay, so I want the Arial again. And I want Arial black because that's just thicker. And get rid of that. And I want it all capitals. Well, K-A-R-E-N. Okay. And then I'm going to hit OK. And I have Karen. All right, now you have all these little things on here. Okay, this can make it taller. Make it 3D. Okay, you can change the size this way. You can bring it down. You can bring it up. You can stretch it out. Those are just all size things. Okay, this, you can skew it. You can make it up and down, turn it around. Okay, and then you have these little diamond boxes. And these, if you turn it green, now you can move, you can fix your spacing of your letters, because sometimes if you don't like the way they are, you can do that. Okay, now, these, when you do a font and when you do lettering, it's grouped. And if I left click on that, I get the edit again. I can go in and I can make it bold. Click OK and generate again, and it's bold. I can click on the edit. I can go in and I can make it italic. And I can say OK and generate, and now it's italic. We're going to take it back. Go into edit, unclick italic. You can go back in here on this edit because it's grouped. Okay, but if I left click on it so that I have all those bounding boxes and I come down here and I ungroup it, okay, they're now all separate. Okay, they are now just objects, just like anything else you digitized. You can do anything you want with this, just like you do with anything else. Anything else that you have. But see, now it's just a regular, I can't go in and adjust it as a font anymore once I ungrouped it. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. And we're just going to bring it in again, just cause. And if you look down here, this is the size. Okay, so it's just a little over an inch tall. Okay, and you can come in here. This is your sizing box. You can come in here and you can change the size here too, so you know what you want. It's a 1-inch font now. I'm going to make it a 2-inch. Well, that didn't work because I put a 2. 2 inches is 50. Click OK and generate. No, that didn't work. Okay. We're going to get rid of that and do it again. And I'm going to make it 50. Okay. Generate. All right. Now you can come down here and I can make it 25. Click OK. Now it's back down to 1 inch. And come here and make it 50. So there's different ways to size this stuff. Okay. Now, you can do lots of cool things with fonts. So I'm going to select all my letters. So left click on the K, hold my shift key down, left click on the bottom end, and we're going to go into view outline. And I'm going to right click inside there. And these are just fun things. You can use all these different things with it. Create areas, outlines from area edges. You can create a void. You can fill voids. You can divide with a line and divide with a curve. So we're going to do a divide with a curve. And I'm going to divide here. And I'm going to divide. And generate. All right, so I have my K, and I have my AREN all split. So I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to hold my control key down. I'm going to right click, right click, right click, and I'm going to turn that red. And then I'm going to hold my right click on this, hold my control key down, and right click, right click, right click, right click, right click, right click, right click. And I'm going to turn that all red. And as you can see, I didn't get this. I'm going to turn that red. Okay. This is just like a little fun things you can do. I'm going to right click here, hold my control key down. I'm going to grab all these pieces. Okay, and I'm going to make that white. 4th of July is coming. This is just kind of cute. And then I want a different blue. I don't like that blue. Go with a deeper blue. Okay. And then I'm going to select, I'm going to come down here and left click on that. And I'm going to come all the way up. And I'm going to hold my shift key down. And I'm going to left click on that one. So everything is selected. I'm going to hit my space bar. I'm going to come into my satin. I'm going to break my long stitch. This is just so we can see the way it looks right now. And I just think that's kind of cute. And then, if you were in my webinar before where we made our little star, we can now bring our star up. And how cute will this be? And copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And then we'll make those. And how cute is that? Okay, but the point of this is you can deal with these letters as any other object you digitize. There's no special things. All right, let's see if there's any questions at all. Ellen wants to know if I could change it to complex fill. Yes, we can. And I will do that. Oh, Laura, no, you didn't scare me away. All right, let's see. Okay. So I thought that was kind of cute, so we'll get rid of that. Save changes. Nope. All right, now we're just going to kind of go through some of the things that this can do. And we'll just use this one. Okay. And generate. And that's 3D. And now we've got that. And we're going to go into edit. Okay, we've talked about bold. We've talked about italic. Okay, and this art font. I don't know if anybody's done any art font before, but it's kind of cool. You can make it left wave and generate, and it fits the wave. And this is kind of cool. I did this. I got some pictures here. This is a quilt I made for my grandson, and that's exactly what I used to do this up, and away. was that. So that was kind of fun. Okay. You have this. You can still move your letters where you want them. Okay. You can make it curve more, make it taller. Okay. You can spread it out. Okay. So there's lots of different things you can do to make it look the way you want it to look. Okay. You can still go back in. Okay. And we can go into Art Font and we can change it again. Here, this one is kind of fun. And generate. This is like Star Wars. At the beginning of Star Wars and that, a long time ago and whatever. So that's kind of a fun effect. Okay, and I can left click on it and I can get back into edit. And I can uncheck Art Font. I don't have to do that and click OK. And I'm back to where I started. And we can come back into edit. And you have above the line, centered on the line, and below the line. And 99% of the time, you're going to use above the line. But there are, a few instances you might want to use centered on the line or below the line. And I'm gonna use below the line in a minute, and I'll show you that. Okay, so now here's the text path. Let me get rid of this. You can do it on a line. You can do it on the current line. The default is current line. And what a current line does is it spaces the letters based on the font that you use, the size of the font you used, and it does a pretty good job with that. Okay, or you can do it on a line. I'm going to click OK, and as you can see, this change. I'm going to left click here. Oh, I hate this. It does this all the time. Get rid of this, and I'm going to undo. I didn't want to do that either. No. As you can see, I'm having lots of problems today. Just cause.
Karen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah,
Am I gone again?
we are, yeah, we're having problems. What we're seeing is Karen, and it looks like it's frozen with the in out showing on the top right side of the N.
Oh, yep, I'm nowhere near there.
Yeah, you moved way past that, it looks like, and
Yes.
it looks like the internet is not going to cooperate with you here tonight.
See, I'll come. I only do this when it's stormy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know, once a month, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
really.
you want to try logging out and logging in again and see if it does it one more time?
I can try it again. Yeah.
Give it a shot. We'll wait here for you. Let me set my screen to show so that they have something to look at before you leave. Hang on a second.
Okay.
I'm going to switch me over to B. Wow, isn't that interesting? Okay. I'm going to make me the presenter. Wow, that is so weird. Show my screen. Okay, it should be
There you
showing
go.
my screen, which is the front of You Can Digitize. Try logging out of the webinar and come back in. Are you on the phone, by the way, instead of a
I
microphone?
am. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
good.
always on the
Good.
phone.
That's why your voice is still coming through, even though
Yeah,
your
even though
screen
the screen's not working.
the screen froze up. Now I get
Yeah.
it. I'm listening to you, and somebody mentioned it, that your screen was frozen. I'm like, what? I was listening, but I wasn't looking at
Oh,
it.
wasn't watching. Yeah.
Yeah, I
All
wasn't
right.
watching that close. I'm like, my gosh, it is.
All right. So let me get out of the
She'll
webinar
be
and we'll try to
back.
get back in. Yeah, look, it shows that my internet is. I mean, it says my internet's okay.
Hmm.
So,
Well,
all
you're definitely
right.
out right now, Jay. I just watched the. There you are. You came back in. Let's see if we can get your screen to show again. Hold on. Here it comes. And now I need to make you the Well, you are the presenter. We see your screen again, and right now all we see is an empty generation screen.
That's all that's there is an empty generation screen.
Wow. Okay, you're good
Okay.
to go. I'll mute
All
myself.
right.
Thank you.
All right. So, as I said, and when you come in here, you've got line, arc, ellipse, and freehand. So I'm going to try putting this on a line again. Okay. Then you left click and left click where you want the line to end, and it jumps to that line. Okay. And then you generate, and that's what you have. Okay. So then there's arc. Click OK. Cursor changes. Left click. Come over. Left click again. Well, didn't work that time. Undo. Undo is your friend. Okay, we'll come back down here to arc. And then I'm going to go OK, and my cursor changes. I'm going to go left click. See, I'm hitting that twice if you can see that. Escape. Bring it back. One-on-one. Let me try to do this again and not double click it. All right. Going to do an arc. Okay. Okay. Left click. There we go. Left click. And now I have an arc. I can make the arc go that way. I can make it go down. Move it when I'm happy. Just left click. And it jumps to the arc. Okay. And I'm going to go and edit. And then you can do an ellipse. You can do freehand. Let's try freehand. Okay. Freehand is just you draw a line, enter, it jumps to the line, and generate. Okay, and hit delete. Okay, now I want to use JKLM. I'm looking for a font that works good for this. Okay, I have this font called Marry Me, and I'm going to make it Kare, delete. Okay, and I want it Karen, and I want it smaller. Down to about 15. I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to generate. Okay, and as you can see, the letters aren't touching, and I want them almost touching. Okay, so I'm going to take it down to 1 to 1, and I want it small. Come in here into the resize box, and I'm going to make it 20, and I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to generate, and then I'm going to copy and paste. Okay, and I'm going to come down here to the alignment tools, and I'm going to flip that one I copy and pasted, and then I'm going to take my arrow key, and I'm going to hit my down arrow key, and I'm going to line them up, as you can see it, and then I'm going to take, oops, I didn't want to do that. I want to group them so that they're one piece. Okay, now it's one piece. And I'm going to stretch it out just because I think it looks better longer. Make it 3D. And if you look down here, this is the size it is. Okay, it's in about 1 inch tall and 54 wide. Now, I want it probably a little smaller than that. And that's good. All right, now take it one-on-one, and then I want to stand it up. And if you can see these two, this rotates it. Okay, and then I'm going to copy and paste, move it over, copy, paste, move it over, copy, paste, move it over, copy, paste, move it over, and one more, and move it over. Okay, and now I'm gonna left click and drag a box around that. And as you can see, they're kind of all uneven. So you come down here to your alignment tools. These are kind of really nice. This is going to align them all along the top of the letters. So now they're all the same this way. Okay. If I come over here, if you look down here in the corner, when I hover over one of these, it tells you what they do. This is going to even the spacing between them horizontally. So now they're even that way, and now they're even that way. And then you have this cool tool, and this is the super align. And we're going to left click on that, and you can have them above the line, centered on the line, or below the line. And you can align the path, and we want an ellipse. An ellipse is a circle. And this is just like the same thing you can do in the font when you want to do it on an ellipse. But this makes a cool snowflake. And I'll click OK. And then I make my circle, and they all jump to my circle. Okay. And if you see this little arrowhead here, you can bring it down and generate. And then I have a snowflake name. And that was a big thing a few years ago, but it's just still cool, even now. So we'll get rid of that. Okay. And there was, if you come in here, the text path, arc ellipse line, auto, freehand. Okay, here. Vertical layout. If you click that, makes them go up and down. Okay. There's a few other things I had wanted to show, but I want to talk about small lettering because that was a big to do. And I hope I make some sense because this is, things are not going well today. Okay. All right. Small lettering. Small lettering is really, really tough. It's really, really hard to stitch lettering small. Um, it bunches up and it causes knots and it's just really, really, really difficult to do. You have to be very, very careful what fonts you're using. I'm not going to teach you how to digitize small fonts. That's um, that's extreme lessons, and I don't know that that's something I want to do. But if you want to use a font small, I would make sure you use these fonts that have the AA in front of them. These were digitized. These were actually digitized and put in the program. These fonts up here that are TTs, the program automatically digitizes them when you pick it, and it does the best it can, and it does a pretty good job. But it's not as nice as what you would probably do yourself. But up here, a digitizer actually digitizes these types of fonts. So if you want to do a small font because they're so hard to do well, to stitch out well, these are the fonts I would work with. Okay, and I did some test stitching on some of them.
We had a question, Karen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Here's a question. I hope you can answer this one. Ellen said, "I do not have Marry Me or Milkshake," which I'm sure those are some fonts that you happen to have on your screen.
Those are
Could
ones
you
I have.
talk
Yeah.
about that? Could you talk about fonts that you might have that they don't, and so on?
Well, different computer companies have different fonts actually installed on your computer. Um, Marry Me is a font that came with my computer. Okay. Milkshake is a font that I bought and installed on my computer. Okay, and it's a Laura Worthington font. And you can look up Laura Worthington, and you can look up Milkshake font, and you can find it. And it was pretty reasonable. And it comes with I got it with a commercial license. I think she only sells with a commercial license anymore. And then you install it on your computer, and then it automatically digitizes it just like it does all the rest of the TT fonts. It's not a pre-digitized font. Okay, so hmm, the questions are missing on my screen again. So it's a good thing you jumped in, Lara. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
It did. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Laura says at fonts come with a new home version 2.0. So if you have an older, if your generations is still version 1.6 or generations plus or generations,
There
what
were
was it,
some
plus
in those
64.
in those. There were actually some in those. I don't know which ones. Okay, but
Got it.
they came with some. But generation the 2.0 came with more of them.
Got
So,
it.
but these are the fonts. God, why did my questions keep disappearing? What happened there?
Yeah, welcome. I've got, could somebody type yes or something and just hit as a question? I want to make sure that I'm still seeing questions come in. There, yeah, I'm still seeing them. You're not seeing them anymore?
No, that whole section disappeared again like it did before, and I don't know how
Oh
I got
boy.
it back.
Huh. Nancy says that the milkshake font, by the way, is a free font that comes from Laura.
I paid for it. So
You paid for it.
there you
Oh,
go. Okay.
huh.
Looking at hmm, there we go. I don't know how I lost that. Okay, I don't know where. Anyway, we'll go back up to these fonts. Um, if I to do small fonts, these are the fonts that I would use. Okay, and you can start. I did these on the picture here. Okay, I got some kind of weird stuff going on. Larry?
Yes. It looks like your screen froze up again, Karen. We're
Well,
still seeing
it says
insert text.
screen sharing is now paused. I
Oh
got
my.
some flashing thing around my screen. Another window is on top of my shared application. Please
Oh
move this
boy.
window to resume screen sharing. I have no idea what that means.
You're still in as the presenter, but you're there, but you're not.
Mm, I don't want to leave the webinar.
Huh. Well,
Okay,
ah,
right.
you're gone. Now it's back. We're seeing a photo now from your screen of
Okay.
Stitch Out, and your cursor is
All right.
moving again.
My cursor's. Let me just. Hmm.
Wow, this is going to
I'm
be a
gonna call.
rough one.
I'm gonna. This is all right. Am I back to my generation screen?
Now we're seeing changes on your gen screen, it looks like. I just saw something disappear on
This
your
is just
insert text.
crazy.
Well, that happens with internet connection problems normally.
Hmm. Okay, now it's
Switch audio modes in session, it says.
yes, I don't know what that means. I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
where that came from.
Try, can you restart generation, save where you're at and restart it, or is it froze up on your end?
It's
We're
there.
seeing your
You
cursor.
got you got generations again?
No, we're just seeing, what we're seeing is a web browser screen that shows log me in support on the top left side, and it says switch audio modes in session. Now I get your generation screen with insert text field again.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know what's. I'm not going to touch
Okay.
that thing anymore.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, um, when you're doing small text, your satin. This is satin. I wouldn't go any smaller than a quarter of an inch. Okay, and a quarter of an inch is about 0.6. And I'm going to click OK. Except I didn't want vertical. I'll just move it this way myself. Okay. Now this was created in 10 millimeters. Okay, which is pretty small. And if you look down here, it shows you the size, 10.67 millimeters. Okay. You can come down here to the size box, and Y is the height, and 6 is about a quarter of an inch, because 4 times 6 is 24. So 6 to 7. So we'll just make it 7, and I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to generate, and I'm going to bring it up to about 200 so we can see this. Maybe I'm going to bring it up to 400 so you can see this. Okay. When you are doing small, when you want to use this text small, okay, and this is with the serif, if you're using a serif font, or serif, or however you say a serif font, you want your serifs to go the same direction as your columns. A lot of times you'll have serifs that go like that, and then they're on top of your column. That's not going to work out really well for you when you stitch it. It's going to work out much nicer if it's like this. See how the angles are all going the same direction? That's going to work better for you. Okay? And when you're doing small fonts, if you click the small lettering, click OK, and generate, it does a little, it changes your underlay sometimes. And it did change the underlay here a little bit, and it usually changes your density. So you look on here, see density went, regular satin density is 0.4. This is a 0.42. Okay? And that's okay, but when you're doing small stitches, you probably really need to change the density to even lighter. Okay, I got a picture here. I got some pictures that I did because I tested some of these things. And here's a density. And this is a font that's in those fonts. And do we have a picture on the screen right now, Larry?
Well, I see the word Karen on the screen right now. Is it frozen again?
It's got this
Move your.
crazy thing came up. It says screen sharing is now paused.
Oh
Another window
gosh.
is on top of my shared app. I've never seen this before. It's part of
It's the
the GoToMeeting. It's something
GoToWebinar.
from GoToMeeting or
Yeah.
GoToWebinar, whatever it is. Yeah, and I don't
Yeah.
have any idea what to do about it.
Yeah. What
So
we're seeing on
you
the
can't see the picture. You can't see the picture of the stitch out.
nope. we see Karen on the generation
Mm,
screen, uh,
okay. So the
and it
pictures
froze
aren't
up
showing,
again.
and I don't know why.
Now I'm back to seeing your screen live. I see the N in
Okay.
Karen is flashing.
Yeah, I just clicked that. All right. So it obviously doesn't like my pictures. So I'm gonna get
Um,
rid of those.
okay,
Okay. I'm gonna get rid of those, and I'm gonna try to open it again. A picture.
okay.
Let's see if I can open a picture.
You're opening a
Nope.
picture inside generations?
No. I'm
Okay.
opening a picture aside from generations. And that crazy thing came up again. So it just doesn't like anything other than the generation screen.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, I've never seen it before. I don't know what it is, and I'm really sorry about this, you guys. And this is just kind of throwing me for a loop, so I can't even think hardly. So, but anyway, all right. Let's take the 3D off, and as you can see, this is light. I stitched them all out, okay, and at different densities, and I found that a point 0.5 density made for really nice, soft lettering. The lettering came out beautifully. I would show you the picture, but for some reason that's not working. And but it came out really, really nice. This is about a quarter of an inch high. It's stitched really, really well in this font. Um, I wish I could show you the picture. I had the name. Let me get my actual stitch out so I can read you the fonts that I stitched out that worked really well at this size. Okay, because not all of them will. And these are all of those at fonts in generations. Okay, but like I said, I had made this 5 and I stitched it out, and it's stitched beautifully. It's really soft. You have a really you got to be really, really careful on these little fonts. You don't want them to get knots or to get really uh, hard and stiff. And like I said, when you're doing it, you can't have your columns get any littler than 1 millimeter. If you do, it's just going to make a knot and tie up in your machine, and it just makes a mess. And I had a picture of that too that I can't show you. But anyway, um, so just I'm going to measure this for you so that you can see. This is just a little over 1 millimeter, and that's fine, and it's stitched beautifully. And we're going to go in and we're going to look at these are some of the fonts um, that I test stitched. And this is something for your Generations Bible. If you want to do small stitching, go through these, make them small, stitch them out, test them, change your densities, do all these things so that you can get what you like. Another key thing is when you're going really small, like the quarter inch, it's probably not a bad idea to do all capital letters because the smaller you get, these um, these inside areas can close up. Okay, and that's why you got to test these designs. Let me see. Let me get that one did good. Let's see this one and generate. No, it didn't like that at all. And generate. Okay, these areas can get rather small. Okay, see this is at 10.5. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to take it down to a 7, and that's just a hair bigger than a quarter inch. And I'm going to generate. And as you can see how this all closes up and whatever. So it kind of depends on what font you use. And that's why you need to test them and you need to stitch them. And like I said, it's a great Bible exercise. But anyway, some of the fonts that I did that worked out well, and these, like I said, these are all the at fonts that I tried. I'm not going to say some of those TT fonts won't work out, but you have a better chance of them working well if you use these. Okay. I did the carried away font. and that stitched out pretty well at the 10 millimeters. It did not do so well less than that, because you can see the stuff closes up. We're going to come in here. We're going to make this. Let's make this an 11. Click OK and generate. See, and then it opens up a little when it's a little bigger. But when you take it down, those fill up, and then that doesn't look good. But that did not bad. And then this Batang did pretty good. And I'm going to generate. I'm going to move these. I'm going to generate, and now I'm going to, this is at 8.5. I'm going to take that down to a 6. Click OK. And as you can see, a 6, that's a quarter of an inch high font. And as you can see, these stayed open pretty nicely. And then we're going to check. And if you see, the column is still at least a millimeter. And I can't tell you how important it is that that column has to be at least a millimeter. Okay. And then there's, these are just the ones I tried. I didn't try them all. You know, if you're interested, you can try different ones. This DF Chi SB, click OK, generate. That did pretty good. This is at a quarter of an inch. This is, if you look down here, it's at 6.49 millimeters. So that did pretty good. And as you can see, the columns are larger than 1 millimeter. And then another one that did well, and like I said, I didn't go through all of them, but Fang Song did really well too. Okay. My favorite though was this. One more. This one. Datum and generate, and that really worked well. And I did this at a quarter of an inch, and that's okay. Generate. That's a quarter of an inch, and these small letters are not even 5 millimeters, and they're still open. So those are some ones that I found that were good to work with. And like I said, and then I found if you take the density down, take the density to a 0.5, they stitched very nicely. It was really soft, no knots on the back at all. I mean, it was a really nice stitch. I was really, really pleased with it. I would use this as a small stitch. Any questions, Larry? I have no questions section on here anywhere.
Not sure. Let me see here. By the way, test. Yeah, I could not answer people's questions for a while, but I could read them. Okay. Uh, let's see here. Did you turn off the scissors on your machine when doing small lettering?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
And you
That's the
just
only
and
question.
oh, really? Okay. Well, this was such a
Yeah.
mishmash, and I'm really, really sorry. I just get this mess just kind of threw me for a loop, so we got a little out of sync and out of sequence there. So, any other questions about the small fonts that I can maybe answer?
How to import fonts is a question.
Oh, how to bring them on your computer? Well, I would show you how to do that, install them on your computer, but it seems I can't go away from my generation screen without getting a weird screen
So
around it. Yeah.
you know what? You could just go to YouTube and look up how to install fonts in Windows, and then whatever the Windows version is that you
Yeah,
have, Windows, whatever.
because you're not importing them into generations. You just download them to your computer. They're usually in a zip file. You unzip them, and then you put them, the unzipped file you put into your Windows font file. If you're dealing with Windows, Macs, I have no idea how you do this, but then you would just put it in your Windows font file and install. And you open up the file and it says install, and you click on that and it installs right into your Windows file, and then it shows up in your generations. You do not have to put them in generations. Is that it? I'm really sorry that this was so mishmash. I was just
Well, you can't.
I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you because I'm going to start doing. I'm going to try to do a baseball, and I wanted to show you how to do that and all kinds of stuff. But
Yeah. So apparently people are a little confused about generations and fonts. You remember the fonts that say TT on them are called true type fonts? Those are Windows fonts. So if you can bring
correct.
a font into Windows, it's in generations, period. Now those few that Karen showed you with the @ symbol, the two @ symbols in front of them, those ones were actually provided in generations in order to be fonts that are specifically part of generations. Whether they're going to add more of those in the future, who knows?
I don't know, but those are actually digitized. Those are actually digitized fonts by a person. Okay, so those. That's why I like. That's why I suggest using those, especially if you're going to small fonts, because they're just done better than the automatic digitizing that happens with a true type font off of your computer.
Any other questions? I'm looking here. They will not install into generations until you restart the program. Correct. If you install a new font on your Windows, it's probably not going to show in Windows, or it may not show in Windows, and it definitely won't show in generations until you've restarted generations and or restarted Windows completely, reboot your computer. Any other questions? All right. While I wait for any other questions, I apologize for what happened with the internet tonight.
Me
Unfortunately,
too.
yeah.
Made me all discombobulated. I'm sorry.
I've learned two things over my life that I can say for sure. Thing one, there is a God. Thing two, it's not me. So I don't get to control this stuff.
There you go.
But the information is here. I think with this webinar, I think what I'm going to do before I put the video up is delete out those chunks that are dead screen and so on, and we'll just it's not going to be,
Well, good
well,
luck. It'll make it
you're not
even
going
more
to,
mishmash.
yeah, you're not going to miss the you're not going to miss anything in the recording. Maybe I'll just put it up the way it is. That way at least people know, and I'll just put
Understand why it's such a mess. Yeah.
I'll just put a little
I'm
text
sorry,
warning
you
on the
guys.
page. It says, hey, when you watch this, yeah, it's going to be not all exactly hunky-dory, but it happens. All right. Any other questions? Going to go get that free font that Karen paid for, LOL.
Yeah. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, good for okay.
Good for you.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Karen, for struggling through and getting it done tonight. And thank
Okay.
you for
Sorry,
everybody that's
everybody. I hope you
here.
got something out of it.
Holly should be back next week, God willing, and we will see. Hopefully, we won't have the thunderstorms here when that comes up. So thank you again for coming,
I'm sure we're
everyone.
going to have thunderstorms a month from now, just because. When
Because
it's
you're
my
coming up,
turn
right?
again.
All right. Thank you, Karen. Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Bye-bye.